Have you ever been in a situation where you had a bad feeling, but you couldn't tell if it was your intuition screaming at you or if you were just doing way too much? In relationships, this is especially tricky because there are so many different feelings at play. So in my last video, I did talk about how some women do tend to struggle with listening to their intuition. But before we even get there, how do we know if it's our intuition or not? How can we tell? Alrighty, let me get out my little emotional support trinket. So in my previous video, I did mention something like your intuition will help you determine whether you're projecting or not. I know my intuition is gonna tell me stuff like, girl, you know you're not tripping, you know you're not projecting, and you know this situation is very weird AF. I've also worked really hard to develop my awareness and process my traumas too. But everybody may not be at the point where they can rely on their intuition to get them through every situation because we're all on our own unique journeys. But I'm here to meet everybody where they're at. Maybe you're tapped into your intuition and not listening. Maybe you're tapped into your intuition and you are listening. Or maybe you struggle with tapping into your intuition just in general. Just try to understand where you fall on that spectrum. And most importantly, try to prioritize your understanding of self. Because knowing yourself, understanding how you operate, what triggers you, what doesn't trigger you, is very key to separating thought versus emotion, intuition versus projection. Let's break this down and make it simple. Okay, so sometimes we react emotionally and we think it's intuition when it's not. But other times our intuition is actually picking up on real shifts in energy before our minds fully process it. Even if nothing dramatic is happening, even if technically nobody has done anything wrong yet. So how do you really know the difference? Well, intuition just feels like this quiet knowing. It quite literally feels like this. It's not anxious or spiraling thoughts. It's grounded. It's that little tiny voice in your head that calmly whispers things like, something is really weird here. Maybe I'm not sure what it is yet, but it's something. Oh, I don't think I like that. It's not crazy. It's chill. Think of your intuition like a really laid back older sister. Yeah, she knows what she's talking about, but she's not really loud about it. If you repeatedly get the same thought and feeling, even when you're relaxed, even when you're clear-headed, even when you're happy and it doesn't go away, that's probably an intuitive nudge. And it will linger, linger, and linger no matter what. In the past, when I felt relationships start to get a little bit strange, everything was still cool in the meantime. We still enjoyed each other, held hands, kissed, cuddled, all that stuff. But in the pit of my stomach, I still had this feeling that something wasn't right. Sometimes intuition can manifest physically. Maybe it's a tightness in your stomach or just an uneasy feeling. It can even cause anxiety. And I think this is where a lot of us get tripped up. This is where we start getting confused. We're really unsure if it's our intuition or if we're just tripping. So I'm going to tell you how I like to think about it. If I have an intuitive hit, the anxiety isn't super heavy. I mean, yeah, it may nag at me a little bit, but it doesn't make me anxious enough to do any confrontation or be all up in somebody's face or fly off the handle. Like I said before, it's just a little quiet knowing. Just a thought. And in the past, I've taken that thought and just put it in my back pocket for later. because I actually hadn't seen any solid physical proof of anything yet. If I'm having a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurity, I'm having a visceral reaction. It's likely because the person in question has already said or done something that has confirmed the intuitive feeling that I already had. Last but not least, if I'm having a lot of anxiety and insecurity, even though I actually haven't seen any proof of anything alarming, or I don't even have that tiny voice nagging at the back of my mind, and I'm still flipping out, okay, maybe I'm projecting at that point. Maybe I'm just triggered. And if you know that you struggle with anxious or avoidant attachment, that's another really important thing to keep in mind. According to the research, okay, attachment style triggers are usually intense, urgent, and reactive, which is the opposite of making a calm decision based on a gut feeling. So if that's you, here's some questions you can ask yourself. Am I replaying an old wound? Do I feel calm and clear about this, or am I spiraling? The right people in the right situations won't make you feel uneasy in a bad way. Sure, they may challenge you in good ways, challenge you to grow, maybe even inspire you to work on your attachment style issues. But that's a totally different feeling than having a deep knowing that something isn't right. And as you get to know yourself better, the difference becomes crystal clear. If your trauma's not playing tricks on you, you have every right to get on up out of there immediately. And don't feel bad about it. Well, I hope that helps someone out there. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, stay gorgeous, and I will see you in the next one.